Hi, my name is Felicia Elizondo. I am a screaming queen, a pioneer, a legend, an icon, a diva, a 27 years survivor, and a Vietnam vet. When the AIDS epidemic started, I was not concerned because I didn't think it would happen to a transsexual woman. But in my lifetime, I've always wanted to be loved and cared for, so I told my family that I was positive when I was not. I thought it would change their vision of me, like loving me and taking care of me and all that, but it didn't happen. In 1987, I became HIV positive, and it didn't change anything. It didn't make me closer. They didn't love me anymore, or they could care less of what I thought. But at that time, I was going to the ERAS project as an emotional and practical support volunteer. I wanted to educate the lesbian and gay community about transgender women, that we were not all thieves, drug addicts, alcoholics, and just plain freaks. So I decided to volunteer, and I started with the ERAS project. Emotional practical support volunteer program came to ERAS, and they trained us, and I became an emotional and practical support volunteer. During that time, I told the group that I was HIV positive, and they all surround. If it wasn't for the ERAS project, I don't know if I would have survived what's happening to me. So anyway, I started working, cleaning houses, taking gay men to doctor's appointment, clean their houses, change them, wash them, clean them, and I wanted to make sure that the gay men would understand that why discriminate against the transgender community when we were helping them. I was really, I made my first quilt in 1988. It was for Michael Bernay. I helped one of the mothers who had lost her son, and that was my first quilt. I have made 80 AIDS memorial quilts, from the transgender girls to the tenderloin girls to the tenderloin boys, because at that time I wanted to educate everybody. And the reason that I'm telling my story is because I feel very strongly that once I became HIV positive, I wanted to be where I could educate the lesbian and gay community about transgender people. So the best thing, my job at the telephone company was transferred to Santa Barbara, and I didn't want to go. So I decided in 1991 to move to San Francisco. I started working for Project Oakland as a volunteer. Then I got hired. I started working for the San Francisco AIDS Foundation as a volunteer for the AIDS Walk. And then from Project Open Hand, I went to Shanti as a emotional and practical support volunteer, peer advocate. Then I became events and planning coordinator. And then I moved to, in 2000, I was like a greeter for the San Francisco LGBT Community Center. And then I got hired as a receptionist in front from 2000 to 4000. I became very involved in the AIDS walk, raising money for Project Open Hand, for Shanti, for all kinds of organizations that needed to see who I was, that I wasn't a bad person. I finally, in 2004, I had been mistreated and really mistreated at the center. There was this Latino supervisor that came and took my hours away and my seniority, and I was about to kill myself. I was going to, one Saturday I got a rope and I was going to go to the 4th floor and hang myself. But before that I stopped. I'm a Vietnam veteran, so I went to the hospital and got help for that. So I've been on disability since 2004. I'm still fundraising. I'm still very much involved with the community with Open House for LGBT seniors. I'm involved with Trans March for about 5 years. We are finally getting the acknowledgement, the recognition, and the respect that we deserve. I never thought that I've lost a lot of my generation. That's what's hard, that I don't get to talk about our stories from the past because they're all gone. The majority of the kids that I grew up with are gone, and I'm just like feeling alone. And I am very involved with the community with Trans March. We are 2014 Grand Marshals, and we have 3 transgender women that are Grand Marshal this year. And the first time ever that Vicky Marlene, her name is going to be added to the 100 block of Turk Street, where the 1966 Jane Compton's cafeteria riot started, and it was done by transgender women, queers, sissies, female impersonators, hustlers. One evening they decided to revolt, and that started the gay movement here in San Francisco in 1966. And now I feel complete. My 2 dogs, the love of my life, they keep me living. And I think that's why I have lived for so long, because I've been celibate for 20 years. I've always had men. I was a gorgeous woman when I was young, and I would fuck anybody that would come my way. But I've been celibate for 20 years, and I decided I don't need a man to be happy. I have Gypsy for 7 years. I have Simon for 6. And those are the love of my life. I've lived at the same place for 21 years. I'm very happy with my life right now, but sometimes I come down. But you know something? I don't need all kinds of people around me. I don't need my family. As long as I love myself and that my kids love me, that's all that matters to me. And that's why I'm telling my story, because it's important that we all know that we are here, we're all together. In the 80s, in the 60s, it was the gay community. We were all together, blacks, whites, Asians, Mexicans. And the LGBT puts you in sections, and I don't like that. The queer word was a horrible word to us when we were young. It was our death sentence. We were murdered, killed, raped, thrown in jail just because of who we were. And I am glad that I'm going to be 68 July 23rd, and I am glad that I get to see the changes of the world and the trans community moving forward. And hopefully one of these days we can all come together as a community. But for right now, hey, it is what it is, and there's nothing you can do about it. So just enjoy life, be happy, and love one another.